Here's a quick question for you. What would you prefer? $1 million right now or a penny that doubles every day for a month? Think about it for a second. The answer might surprise you. The penny that doubles every day would actually grow to over $10 million in just 31 days. This is the power of compounding. In today's video, I'm going to introduce you to the 843 rule, a simple yet powerful formula that, combined with the magic of compounding, could be your path to financial freedom. I'll also dive into the potential risks and rewards, and share practical steps to help you get started on your journey. Do you know what compounding is? Let's start with the basics. Have you ever heard the phrase, money makes money? This isn't just a catchy saying. It's a reality when you understand the power of compounding. Compounding is like planting a tree. At first, it's just a small seedling, but as time goes on, it grows taller, stronger, and eventually starts producing fruit, more and more every year. But instead of apples or oranges, compounding grows your money. Let's take our simple example from earlier. If you took the $1 million up front, you'd be a millionaire right now, no doubt about that. But if you chose the penny, by day 10, you'd only have $5.12. Doesn't seem like a smart choice, right? But wait, here's where the magic happens. By day 20, that little penny has grown to $5,242. And by day 31, it's a whopping $10 million. That's more than 10 times the original $1 million. This is the magic of compounding, starting small but growing exponentially over time. The 843 rule explained. Now, let's bring in the star of the show, the 843 rule. This simple formula can help you maximize the power of compounding in your investments. So what does it mean? The 8 stands for an 8% annual return on your investment. The 4 represents 4 years, how long it takes for your money to double at an 8% return. And the 3 is for 3 times, how much your money can grow over a 12-year period. Sounds simple, right? But don't let that fool you. This rule can have a massive impact on your financial future. Let's break it down. The 8, achieving an 8% return. First, let's talk about the 8 in our 843 rule. Achieving an 8% return isn't some far-fetched dream. In fact, it's pretty realistic if you're investing in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, index funds, or ETFs. But why 8%? Historically, the U.S. stock market has returned an average of about 7% to 10% per year over the long term, according to sources like Investopedia and the S&P 500 data. If you invest in a broad index fund, like the S&P 500, which includes 500 of the largest companies in the U.S., your money could potentially grow at around this rate. But here's where the fun begins. What if you could push that 8% to 9% or even 10%? The snowball effect gets even crazier. But even at 8%, your money is working hard for you. Let's make this more concrete. Say you invested $10,000 today, and it grew at 8% annually. After 10 years, you wouldn't just have $18,000. Thanks to compounding, you'd have over $21,000. And that's just the beginning. What's your guess? How much would that $10,000 grow if you gave it 20 years? It would actually grow to over $46,000. That's more than 4 times your original investment, all because of the magic of compounding. The 4, doubling your money in 4 years. Next up, the 4 in our rule. This represents how long it takes for your money to double at an 8% return, roughly 9 years. But here's a neat trick. If you break it down into smaller intervals, it means your money is doubling every 4 years. This is where things get exciting. After your first 4 years, your initial investment has doubled. But guess what happens in the next 4 years? It doubles again. Not just the original amount, but the entire sum. Imagine this scenario. You invest $10,000 today. In 4 years, that $10,000 has grown to $20,000. Another 4 years later, that $20,000 becomes $40,000. By the 12th year, you're sitting on $80,000. You started with $10,000, and in just 12 years, it's multiplied 8-fold, all thanks to the magic of compounding. It's like cloning your money. Every 4 years, you've got a brand new clone working for you, and they're all growing at 8%. By year 12, your initial investment could have doubled 3 times over. The 3. Tripling your wealth in 12 years. Finally, let's talk about the potential to triple your initial investment in 12 years. If you stick with it, allowing your investment to compound, in 12 years, your money could potentially be worth 3 times what you started with. Think about that for a moment. If you start with $10,000 today, in just 12 years, you could have $30,000. And that's without adding a single extra penny. Now, imagine if you're regularly contributing to your investment. Those numbers can get really big, really fast. What would an extra $30,000, $60,000, or even $100,000 mean for you? A dream vacation, paying off debt, maybe even an early retirement? The possibilities are endless when you harness the power of compounding. The Snowball Effect. Compounding over a lifetime. Now, let's put it all together. Remember our snowball analogy? The longer your money is invested, the bigger it gets, growing exponentially as the years go by. But here's a key tip. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. It's not just about how much you invest, it's about how long your money is allowed to compound. Let's say you start investing at age 25. By the time you're 50, using the 8-4-3 rule, your initial investment could have tripled twice. Now, compare that to someone who starts at 35. They only get 1 round of tripling. Time is your biggest ally in the game of compounding. So here's a question for you. How soon are you going to start your snowball rolling? The sooner, the better. Your future self will thank you. Compound your contributions. But wait, there's more. What happens if you keep adding to your investment regularly? The 8-4-3 rule becomes even more powerful when you compound your contributions. Let's say you invest an additional $100 every month. Over 12 years, that's another $14,400. But remember, all that extra money is also compounding. So instead of just tripling your initial investment, you're growing a much larger sum. It's like rolling more snowballs into your original one. The whole thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And who doesn't like a bigger snowball of cash? The risks and rewards. Of course, no investment strategy is without risks. The market goes up and down, and 8% isn't guaranteed every year. But history shows us that over the long term, the market tends to grow. The key is to stay invested, even during the rough patches. Think of it like planting a tree. Sometimes the weather gets rough, but as long as you keep watering it and giving it time, it will continue to grow strong and tall. According to financial experts and historical data, maintaining a long-term perspective is crucial to benefiting from compounding. So here's a question. Are you willing to ride out the storms to enjoy the shade and fruit later on? If so, the 8-4-3 rule might be your ticket to financial freedom. Practical steps to get started. All right, let's bring it home with some actionable steps. How do you start using the 8-4-3 rule in your own life? Start investing. Today. The sooner you start, the more time you give your money to compound. Choose the right investments. Look for diversified portfolios, index funds, or ETFs that historically offer an 8% return. This could include options like the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund or the Fidelity 500 Index Fund, which are known for their consistent long-term returns. Stay consistent. Whether it's a lump sum or regular contributions, keep adding to your investment. The snowball effect needs more snow to keep growing. Be patient. Remember, compounding is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay invested for the long haul. So, what's your next move? The choice is yours, but remember, the best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time? Today. The power of compounding using the 8-4-3 rule can truly change your life. It's not about quick wins, but about consistent growth over time. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on building your financial future. And before you go, make sure to check out the next video on your screen, where I'll share the fastest way to earn $2,900 a month through dividend investing. Imagine getting paid while you sleep. That's the kind of financial freedom you won't want to miss out on.